Hi, this is Ka, and for today's video I wanted to talk about how I use my Hobonichi Cousin, because I don't really talk about that a lot here on this channel. So yeah, but first I also wanted to talk about like a recent change in my, not a big change, but like a small teeny tiny change in my EDC. So like I had wanted to keep an hourly like time schedule in my EDC. I do have one in my Hobonichi Cousin, so I was sort of using that, but I also wanted one in my EDC, and so I made a hourly time schedule washi. It's this one. And I used the Plannermonkeyco 4mm grid, freely planned, freely noted, and so I, made it to fit the 4mm grid because I used that, and I plan to in my 2024 setup, which is my passport TN, and so I have the freely noted and the freely planned, so I can use the 4mm grid washi tape that I made, and I'll be able to use that in here as well. And I say 4mm and because when I was designing it, I had the 4mm grid in the background and designed based on that, but it doesn't really have a grid. Like the washi tape itself doesn't have a grid, it's just plain white, and I just designed it so that the letters and the dot come right in the middle of the grid, so that's why I call it a 4mm grid, but it doesn't have like lines or anything. But the dot is like the 30-minute mark, so 1, 1:32, 2:33, 3:34, 4:30, because I wanted like 30-minute intervals, because like usually I don't need 30-minute intervals, but when I'm like really stressed, so for example, like when I was writing my thesis, I was like breaking down my hours into like 30 minutes, like, so when I get stressed I need 30-minute intervals, so that's why I did that. So yeah, so I'm trying this out. I have tried it out with my sample washi, but now I got the actual washi made, so I'm trying that out in my upcoming weeks. So this is the layout that I have set up for next week. And I don't have any for Sunday because I will be with a friend on Sunday, so I don't need to break my hours down. So yeah, that's one change, and that's my EDC. And I've been setting up my passport because it takes a long time for me to set up my like EDC. Like I draw out all the boxes and yeah, I draw out all the boxes, and then for my reference insert as well, I try to set up the pages, draw out the boxes and everything, so it takes a while for me to actually have an EDC set up for use, ready for use. So I've been slowly setting it up, and after I get all like the layout set up, I will start to migrate the information, so that will take a long while too. So yeah, I've been working on my passport, which you will see in my cousin, because I wrote that down. So first, this is my cousin. Oops. And for the monthlies, I'm not really using my monthlies. I tried like putting down my content schedule. I tried gratitude journaling, but none stuck, so I'm not using this for anything right now. But for my weeklies, I have used this to like write down when my hours are not available, when I'm preoccupied with something else. And then I've been partially using it as a future like planning, like blocking out, time blocking to plan for the future. So, you know, that day, plan what I need to do during which hours. But I've also been doing it as a record keeping layout. Like if I don't do that, like forward planning, I would just go back and write down how I've spent my hours. So my weekly pages is a mix of those two. And I've been doing it like this for just a sec. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. And so, you know, not a lot, but I've been using it like this consistently for 7 weeks. So yeah, I would, for example, since every morning I have my sessions, I try to wake up at like 5:30, but I have sessions starting from 6:30. And so because I know that I will have this during this time period, and I can't do anything else, I just write that down. And in the bottom, at the in the evening, I also have that too, so I would write that. And on some days I would, because you know, then I would have like class on Wednesdays from 3:30 to 6:30 almost. And then I'm on my way back. But yeah, and then I have a study group here at 6. Study. And I have an appointment on Sunday. And then I also try to write something at the top too. Not always, but sometimes. But yeah, since then, like fixed hours, I put down the fixed hours. And then on some days so for example, say it's Monday morning and I want to use this layout, then I use it for like a to-do list to mark down what I need to do during the free hours that I have. Like I need to work on my stickers, send it to my manufacturer, or work on my studies and finish reading the class material for this week, something like that. I would write it down. But then on like Wednesday, because I have class, I'm generally a bit busy during the day, like preparing, you know, to go out and on my way to class, things like that. I might not like do a to-do list, but instead like come in after everything happened and write down how I spent my hours. So yeah, it keeps changing. I would like to have a fixed purpose, but yeah, it keeps changing. And for my studies, and because I use the Curry Dust because it's thicker, I place this after I've written, and then I'll go to my dailies. And so this was yesterday. Today's Friday. So this was yesterday. I had a very relaxed, lazy day. I shouldn't have, but I did. I spent the day working on my planners, trying to brainstorm content, things like that. So yeah, but my washi tapes, I've shown this on my Instagram a few weeks ago, but that was from a different manufacturer and I didn't like that quality. So I sent it to a different manufacturer and that came on Wednesday. But since on Wednesday I had already stuck down my like stickers from a purchase that I had made, also washi, this washi. So I put it on Thursday, but this arrived on Wednesday. So yeah, I do keep all of this for reference. So if I want to, like, cause I've done this a few times. Like I went back to my daily pages and tried to find my stickers to see how it came out, and like what the sticker looks like, things like that. So this is very useful for me. I have, thought about putting all of my shop stuff together, having a separate book for that, but I'm not sure, like, that's another book that I have to keep track of. So yeah, I'm not doing that right now, but I have it pasted on the day it came usually. So yeah, so that's my lettered time washi, and I put it on the sticker that the dot means the 30-minute mark and is for a 4mm grid. And then this is the flower washi, the sad face washi, and I had gotten my smiley face washi a few weeks before because I had sent that first to the manufacturer to see how it came out. So yeah, and then and this is the sticker on the back for all of the washis. So yeah, so it's 12mm height, thickness, and then in total it is 10 meters. And so, like, this page, because this takes up the whole space, I didn't really journal. I just kept a record. This is always a record. I don't like plan out what to like write down to-dos or anything here, because this Hobonichi Cousin is not a planner. Technically, it's not a planner for me. It's a journal. So if I have to-dos like that I don't need to keep track of on an hourly basis, I just write it in my EDC. But on the weekly pages, if I have some like to-dos that I want to keep track of on an hourly basis, like, at 11 o'clock do something, 11:30 do something, so that I might try to write and reference my weekly pages. But here it's always a record and journaling. So here I did write down what I did on Thursday, and this took up a lot of the space, so I didn't have any time for I didn't have any space for journaling. But if I do have space, I would journal about a long form journaling, like not so much, yes, like what happened, and my thoughts, things like that. And if every day it's basically the same, so it's not that exciting. But if I do have something that I want to remember and keep, the urge to journal does, pop up, like it does bubble up. So as soon as that happens, like something different happening or something that I want to remember happening, then I get that idea, like, oh, I need to write this in my cousin. That does pop up. And it didn't before, but yeah, as I've been writing in my journal consistently, that urge has popped up multiple times. So then that day I totally journal about what happened, and my thoughts, things like that. But like on a everyday basis, since every day is pretty much the same, I do put in a lot of like things that I've gotten or things like that. So it's not journaling all the time, but it is journaling a lot, and I do get that urge to journal when something different happens, when something special happens. So yeah, that's how I've been using my daily pages and my weekly pages. And I do think this will be how I will use my Hobonichi HON. And yeah, I did put the tabs already. So the small ones for the monthlies, and then the bigger ones for the daily pages, and none for the weeklies because I don't think I need them for the weeklies. And they're the Swatelier tabs, my favorite tabs, and I have like 3 new ones. And because I prefer to match the colors, and I prefer black, I've been keeping the white ones here because I haven't used the white ones yet. So yeah. So I already have, and I'm not, that, particular about how I put my tabs. Some are crooked, but yeah. So that's that. And that's how I use my cousin. And how I will use my Hon. So thank you so much for watching. I hope it was interesting, and I'll be back next week with another video.